All right. I think it's been long enough. Welcome everyone to another Tech Tuesday. I am your host, KvCore, and today we'll be talking about a few different things, which are, so how to import your contacts from your phone, whether it's an Apple phone or an Android phone. We accept everyone, so don't worry about it. We want to export your contacts into a CSV or an Excel file. We briefly talked about that. I did not know how to do it on the Android side, but I'm starting on this screen because I've actually made a video on how to do just that. Okay, and let me go ahead and drop the link to this channel for those of you who did not get it last time. This YouTube channel here is where I upload all of our live streams, and I cut them up into pieces, with the relevant topics so that you can refer to it on your own time in case you miss any of these. So the link to that channel is in the chat. Yeah, so just briefly, I'm not going to play the video, but it just shows you the application you should use. It's fairly quick. Actually, I don't know if you guys would be able to hear the audio. Are you guys able to hear this? Or did it not play any sound?
I don't hear anything.
Nothing? Okay. The video goes through the application you need to use to be able to import your contacts into KvCore and get that Excel spreadsheet that we were talking about on last Tech Tuesday, if you were here. So this is the application you would use. It's called My Contacts Backup. And if I fast forward here, I have a little shot of what that looks like on the Android end. The app is going to look like this: MC Backup dash My Contacts Backup. So you want to download this application into your phone. That will let you export your contacts via as a CSV file or an Excel file. Once you open up the app, you're going to get greeted with this screen. It's very simple. Before you go ahead and press the export button, you would want to go into the settings at the top here where it says type, and you want to make sure this is set to CSV or Excel in parentheses right there. And this is what it looks like when you click on it. You don't want to do it as a V card. You want to do it as a CSV file. Okay, and then after you check that, you kind of want to press done at the top left and then press the export button. It'll do so very quickly. And then it'll prompt an email button after it's done. Once you click on that, it'll bring a pop-up through which you can put your email, and it'll send that file as an attachment to your email address. And then you can pick up from where we left off on last Tech Tuesday. Okay, so you can always refer to that video if this was too fast. But yeah, that's how you import contacts with Android. Cool. So before we go any further, feel free to interrupt me at any time. As usual, drop things in the chat. I'll check there periodically. And yeah, okay. So next thing I want to talk about, let's see here, I have a list on the side. Okay, so I'm going to talk about how to post listings on Craigslist for free as a cool way to generate leads that's really passive. All you got to do is click a few buttons and KvCore will set all of that stuff for you. I'm also going to talk about how smart campaigns work and how to create one. I also want to show you guys how to create and mail out a newsletter using Canva, which is another program I use. It's free. There's also paid tiers, but it's amazing. The free version will let you do almost everything. So we'll take a look at that. I'll also touch on how to set up a Linktree. That's something I also shared last Tech Tuesday really quickly at the end of the meeting, but I might go over that if we have a lot of time at the end. And I also want to show how I make QR codes using Canva. And I know people also asked about that, so I want to get a chance to showcase that. Okay, so before we get into all the little topics, I want to get the major one out the way, and that is how to use KvCore smart campaigns and how to create some. Okay. All right, let's see here. People trying to join. Welcome, Raquel. Okay. So I want to break these up a little bit. I don't always want to talk about KvCore, but it's very important. Moving forward, I want to talk about mainly KvCore and have bonus things on the side. And the great thing about this application is it's integratable with a lot of different things. So all the other programs you use on the side, you can use KvCore to amplify, their use, which is pretty cool. So I'm on the dashboard right now. Once you go onto KvCore, the way you access smart campaigns is through the marketing tab right here. If you click on that, you can get a little drop down or a sidebar that will show smart campaigns. Or if you actually just click on the tab, it'll bring you to this screen right here. And on here, you will see smart campaigns. Okay. So I'm going to click on that. And here we are. This is the interface you will see. Now, before I move forward, I want to talk about what exactly they are. So smart campaigns are basically a set of actions you give, KvCore or any application that you use to do smart campaigns. You give it a set of instructions to maybe email a lead at a certain point in time and then text them after a certain amount of days, remind you to do certain things in an order. Okay, and you can automate all this process on this interface right here. And I'm actually going to show you so it makes more sense. Okay, so once you log into this, once you have the screen right here, after getting to smart campaigns, you have three different tabs: My Campaigns, KvCore library, and templates. So My Campaigns are campaigns you own. Okay, these are campaigns you've either created or have appropriated. And I use that word because KvCore has its own library of smart campaigns that are pre-built for you, ready for you to use. But KvCore will not let you just edit its own smart campaigns. You have to add them to your own library, and then you'll be able to use them. So that's why I use the word appropriate, because you're just copying what KvCore has and you edit it or just use it as is. Okay, so that's the difference between these two tabs. My Campaigns are yours. KvCore library are just the templates for the smart campaigns. And then you have the actual template tab right here. So what this is pre-written emails or pre-written text messages or preset actions. So you have all these options right here. You have pre-made emails, text, tasks, or call actions. Webhook, I've still not gotten around to fully understand what it is. It's way more advanced. It has to do with web developer API, probably something you won't use anytime soon. But one of those days, maybe when I get a hang of it, or maybe one of you guys, so we can go over it together. But templates is just a section where you can pre-write certain things and always plug them in for, a shortcut. Okay. So we're going to get started with let's do the KvCore library. Okay. So on here, like I said, you have pre-made smart campaign templates, and you have a bunch to choose from. So I'm going to go through what each of these columns mean so you know what you're looking at. So every campaign has a name, And this is kind of what KvCore is calling them. This one's called Nosy Neighbor Prospect to Conversation. And there's a quick description of what the campaign is about. So this one's a little bit tough. Let's get the open house one. That one's a good example right here. So this is a smart campaign designed for, open houses. So they called it Open House, and this campaign is designed for leads that have come from the KvCore Open House app. Okay, and then you have a start when section right here. This is just the trigger for the smart campaign. So you can have campaigns start when someone gets added from your website, or when you manually add a contact, or when a contact goes from your sphere to a prospect, or prospect to lead, etc. So you have a lot of ways to manipulate how smart campaigns get assigned to your leads or your contacts list. Okay, so you have full control over how that happens. And then you have a design for section. So not every campaign is going to be for everyone. Some will be, but sometimes you only want to target buyers. Sometimes you're only targeting sellers. So this section is the label that you put on there to know who it's designed for. So let's see, the open house one right here obviously is designed for the buyer. So there's going to be buyer on this section. And then channels goes through what kinds of interactions are included in said smart campaign. So in this open house smart campaign, this one is comprised of text messages, emails, call actions, and other call actions. Okay, that's funny. I never saw connect call, but it's just a way for you to set up a call so that you can actually automatically get a notification on your phone to call a certain prospect when it's time. Touches right here is the amount of interactions you're having in that smart campaign. So this one is 14. It means you're doing 14 different interactions pertaining to the leads that are, in that smart campaign. And then lastly, you have add to my library. This is because we're on the KvCore library section. You can't just use them. You have to own them. You have to add them to your library. And once you do so, they will end up in the My Campaign section where you can actually use them. So I'm going to add the open house one to my library by clicking right here. And it's going to give me a confirmation message at the bottom left. And if I go back to My Campaigns, you will see you will have open house right here. Now, you might notice that there are locks next to some of them. Don't worry too much about these. This is more so for people who are in a team or an organization with multiple agents using, KvCore and sharing, contacts or whatnot. So when there's a lock on here, that means only you have access to that. But when it's unlocked, all of your team has access to your campaigns. So if I was to build my own campaign and I don't put a lock on it, I give access to my whole team, to use my creation. But if it's locked, it's just for me and nobody else. Okay, but most of you guys, I assume, are independent agents, not in a team. So you won't have to worry about whether it's locked or unlocked. Okay. And let's see. Yeah, so we have just added the open house campaign. And right now we're under the My Campaign section. So certain sections here are different, just like the always run section, the status section, and the scope section. So let me talk about what those are so you're familiar with that. So when always run is set to yes, it will run the campaign in question no matter what's going on with that contact. So say you already have a campaign that's assigned to a specific contact. If this is set to yes, and the contact in question, how do you say this? If the contact in question is eligible for the smart campaign that you're trying to add them to, they will have a duplicate campaign. Okay, but if this is set to no, this campaign will not get added to that contact because they are already enrolled in a smart campaign. So this basically, this section, the always run sections, means that if there's already a smart campaign and this is set to no, then it will not run. If there's already a smart campaign with a specific contact and you're trying to, or KvCore tries to add another campaign due to whatever triggers you have in place, if this is set to yes, it will still do it. And that specific contact will be in 2 different smart campaigns at once. So sometimes there could be situations where you just want everyone to be enrolled in everything. Sometimes you just want them to be enrolled in one type of marketing, campaign. So that's what the always run section means. The status, pretty self-explanatory. It just means that this campaign is active or this campaign is not active. So if this is off right here and I assign the expired campaign to a contact, it will not run. But if this is on, then it will run. Okay. So always make sure that the smart campaign you assign to people is actually toggled on. Otherwise, you will not see any effect. And right here, this is more so who has access to those smart campaigns. Okay, so as you can see, the locked ones right here have company because KvCore owns them and everyone's able to tap into those and clone them and copy them and use. User, those are things that I've added or maybe edited. Okay, so that changes the scope of ownership. And yeah, so that's an overview of the smart campaign interface. Now we're actually going to create one together. Okay, I'll show you guys how to make your own smart campaign. And before I get into that, I encourage everyone to just browse the KvCore library because there's the ones that are already on here are really, really good. They might not sound how you want to sound to the people who receive the emails, so you can always tweak them. But while you're learning how to use smart campaigns, it's a good idea to just have, some of the ones that are already on there that you do like, just have them active so that you're, keeping in touch with buyers and sellers already. And then as you go further down the line and become more experienced, you can maybe tweak or create your own from scratch. Okay. And we'll do a little bit of everything today. And yeah, so let me go back actually. So what I did right now is I went to the KvCore library and I went into the open house one. So I'm going to click, I've already added it to my library, sorry. So we're going to go to my campaigns and I'm going to open up the open house smart campaign by clicking right here. So when I do that, that brings up this screen with more details about this smart campaign. Okay, so at the top here, it shows who this is for, when does it start, who created it, always run, we already know what that means, and who owns it. And then in the middle section at the top right here, if I switch this on, anyone who is enrolled in the smart campaign will start seeing those emails, texts, and interactions that I've set. I can remove this campaign or share this campaign with someone else. And right here, you get a history of, what you've done with this specific campaign. So this is when I created this. I didn't create it. This is just when I added it to my library, I believe. I don't know why it says the 14. It might be in another time zone, but this just shows you the history of the interactions you've had with the smart campaign. So now this is the meat and bones. At the bottom right here, this will go through each of the interactions or touches that you have set. So I'm going to go through these really quickly. So the way smart campaigns are set is you're going to have time frames. You're going to have the methods through which you're reaching out to people. You're going to have the name of the interaction, and you get a from and to. So anywhere you see agents to contact, that's obviously you reaching out to the recipient or the lead or the contact. Anytime you have system to agents, this just means KvCore is notifying you to do something. Okay, so this is the open house smart campaign. And this one automatically gets assigned when KvCore detects that the source of a contact upon importation is from the KvCore Open House app. I don't know if you guys know, but there's a KvCore Open House app. It's like a cool sign-in sheet, a digital sign-in sheet thing you can have on your iPad or your phone. When people sign in, they will automatically get uploaded or imported to your smart CRM database right here. And once they get imported, they'll get this, where is it? They'll get the source will be open house. And that's how KvCore will find those people, because you can apply hashtags through that app and have KvCore find them and automatically enroll them in this smart campaign. Okay, so that's when, that's what this section means right here. So this campaign will start for anyone who signs in using the KvCore app and has this as their source, which is automatically set for you. So when someone signs in, say Frank walks into my open house, obviously I don't know him. He signs in, he puts his email, phone number, etc. He will appear under this section of, you know, my KvCore software as a new contact. And upon addition, this campaign will get set in motion. And 4 hours from that moment, KvCore will send a text or SMS called open house dash, 4 hours. You can set these names for each single interaction. And if I press edit right here, I can kind of see what that means. So the templates that I was talking about, when you create a template, you can put a name on the template, and that's just what these name sections mean. Later on, when we create our own, you'll kind of see how all of these things come to be. But 4 hours in from Frank signing in, he's going to get a text message saying, hi, Frank. It's going to have my name on here, and we'll give him this nice message. Okay. And this is going to be from agent, which is me or you, whoever is the agent, to the contact, which is Frank in question. And on here, you can edit when this happens. So right now it's set to 4 hours, so you can change the time unit. If I click on here, I can set this to minutes. Okay, so by me doing this, 4 minutes from the moment Frank signs in to the KvCore app at my open house, Frank will receive this message right here. But I'm going to change it back to 4 hours. Okay, so that's what this means. And then if I close this, you can see the next action. So this is 1 day from the moment Frank signs into my open house. And he's going to get this nice email right here using the email he provided on the iPad or the phone, however he signed in, maybe on a computer you have at the open house. And you can have this pre-made email that will automatically plug in his name, write this nice message, and just like the text message section, you can set kind of when that happens. Okay, if you want it to be immediate, you can switch this on. If this is off, it'll give you the option to do it when you choose. Okay, so let me close this too. So this whole section is just basically you writing out a list of instructions for KvCore to automatically do whenever someone gets added and has a specific hashtag, or is from a specific place, or their status changed from one thing to another. You can control all of the triggers to have them enrolled in your smart campaign. So as you can see, this specific campaign goes up to 120 days of interaction. And mind you, this right here happens automatically. You don't have to do anything. Once you set it, turn it on, this will happen for every single contact. It's almost like you have an assistant just working for you day and night for free, because if you are with eXp Realty, you don't pay for this program. So this is a very powerful tool to leverage. And this alone will make sure you keep in touch with every single person of your choosing, or just everyone, period, if you have your the smart campaign to have it be sent to everyone. So I highly encourage you start playing with smart campaigns so that no matter what's going on, you're always at the top, of everyone else's mind, anyone who might or might not be looking for real estate. So that's a really cool thing about smart campaigns. So yeah, this is an overview of what the smart campaign, look like on a, individual scale. And like I said, right here under the KvCore library section, you have plenty of options to choose from. Okay. So just like I've added the open house one to my library, I can always come in here and just edit some of this text and then save. I can always remove actions that I don't like. Or if you are comfortable enough with all of this, what you can do is go back and actually add your own campaign right here. Okay, and you do that by being on the My Campaign section and click on the green button that says Add Campaign, right? So on here, this gives you a lot of cool options. So when you click on Add Campaign, you have the first setting you have is Start Campaign When. So this is the trigger for when this campaign we're about to create starts. So this can be when a lead is new. So if someone new gets added, maybe through me putting a link on my website, people going on my website and providing their email, phone number, and all their info, KvCore will recognize that as a new lead. And soon as that person puts their info and they're imported into my CRM, KvCore will start this campaign because I have it set to start when a lead is new. And if you just check this and don't select a source, this will be for any contact from wherever. But if you want to be even more specific, as far as who is given this smart campaign, you could click on here and it could be either through a manual addition. So me manually adding a contact, paid marketing. If you have, one of KvCore's paid features to generate more leads and they get added that way, it will attribute this smart campaign to them. Or maybe a tracked call. So maybe someone calls your smart number from your website or your Facebook, they call your smart number, KvCore will log that and add the smart campaign to their profile. Okay, you also have the option to apply the smart campaign when their contact is transferred from another agent. So say, for example, Misty does not want to work with a client because he is in another state. She can transfer her contact over to me. And as soon as that contact populates in my CRM, it will trigger this smart campaign to be run for him. And that's an option too, which is cool. Right here, this is very powerful. So when a new contact gets imported and they have a specific hashtag attributed to them, and if you guys don't know what hashtags are, again, I've made a video on the website here talking about what hashtags are somewhere right here. So you can go back and review that. It's only about 2 minutes. But hashtags are very powerful. And it's a way for you to categorize certain contacts to your liking, okay? So if I add a contact or a contact is added through my website and they have a hashtag on there that says maybe first-time home buyer, so you can choose that hashtag and have it automatically, get added to the smart campaign. Cool. And then you also have more options when a specific date occurs for specific contacts. Maybe their birthday is here. You can have KvCore enroll them in the smart campaign on the date of their birthday, before the date, or after the date. Or you have more qualifiers here. If their source is X, if their status is X, you have plenty of options to start your smart campaign. So that's what this section right here means. Or if you are even more advanced, you have much more ways to add people to smart campaigns. So if people become a lead, so maybe they go from a prospect to a lead in the KvCore software, it'll automatically assign it. If we assign them a lender, it can automatically assign it. If they have a hashtag, if they submit a form, there's a bunch of ways you can automate this process. Or you also have the option to not have a trigger on there. So if I check this, it'll negate anything I choose here. And that's because there's no automatic triggers that will happen for them to get enrolled. And if this is checked here, I would have to manually enroll them myself. Okay. So for the purpose of this live stream and this Tech Tuesday, we're going to put, I don't want a start trigger. I only want to run this smart campaign to the people I manually choose. Okay, so that's what this means right here. So I'm going to leave that checked. Down here, these are the sections I was talking about, the always run section. So this means if they already have a smart campaign, still run this campaign in addition to that. But if I put no, if they have a smart campaign already, then this will not run until that other smart campaign is over with. And then locked, again, this has to do with, teams. If you're part of a team, you can log this so that only you can use it. If you put no, anyone part of your team can also copy this and use it. Okay. So yeah, this is this section. Once you fill this out, you're going to press next, and then you can choose who this is designed for. So because we're doing an open house one, I'm just going to take that as the example. It's going to be more so geared towards buyers. But if your smart campaign applies to everyone, you could just press all, or if it's only a specific, group of people, you can individually check those. But for me, it's just going to be buyers because I'm making a smart campaign with you guys for open houses. Okay, so it's going to be buyer. There's nothing in the chat. All right, so now we're going to press next. So on here, you can create a name for the smart campaign that you're creating. So I'm going to call this Tech Tuesday Open House. Okay, so this is the name of my campaign, and you have a quick section here where you can describe what the smart campaign is about. So this smart campaign is designed to keep in touch with people who attend my open houses. Okay, so that way, when I see the smart campaign, I know exactly what it does and what it's about. Okay, and then you still have these fields down here you can change. So once I press next, it's going to give me an overview of all of the settings I've set for this smart campaign. And I own it because I just created it. So there's my name. It runs for agents. There's no triggers because I want to be able to manually enroll people into my smart campaign when I choose to do so. I don't want KvCore to automatically run it based on any triggers. It's designed for buyers. This is the name and this is the description. Okay. So once we have all that set, we're going to click finish. And that will create that smart campaign under the My Campaign section. So if I scroll here, there it is. And as you can see, it's unlocked because I chose the, I didn't choose to lock it. And by default, when you create a smart campaign, it'll be off. Okay. So that's good because you don't want things to start happening right when you create it. So we're going to actually click on our created smart campaign, and it'll take us back to this interface that we've seen before. But now it has nothing because we're making this from scratch. Now, this smart campaigns can be as complicated as you want them to be, or it can be as simple as you want it to be. You can create smart campaigns that keep in touch with people for 10 years if you want, or maybe just for a week, or maybe just for a month, So right now, since there's nothing, we're going to add a new action, and you have the option to choose, you want to email, you want to text, you want to create a task, call, add a tag, a bunch of cool stuff. So let's say, since this is an open house smart campaign, I want to send people a text maybe 5 hours after they sign in to my open house. So on here, if you already have a template created, we'll go through the template section briefly in a bit. But if you have a template of the message, you can automatically click on that. So just for as an example, if I click on this template right here, it'll automatically fill in the message for me. I won't have to manually type each individual action. But if there's no template for what you're trying to do, you can just erase the message and just create your own message. So it could be anything you want. Hi, and then ... whoever it is you're texting. Thank you for visiting my open house. Can I be of any assistance? Okay, and obviously, oh, not assurance, assistance. I promise I can write English. It can be as sophisticated as you want it to be. You can put links in here. You can add, you know, a bunch of cool stuff. Something cool I do want to show you guys. This ... right here is supposed to represent the person who signed into your open house. Okay. And if we go to the template section, where I don't know if you guys have noticed, but you can actually, if you open up this little bracket right here, there's two ways you could do this. If you open up the bracket, it'll give you a drop down of options to choose from. So you can automatically fill in the lead's first name by clicking here, and KvCore will know when it sees this to replace this text right here with the person in question's, you know, first name. If I want something else, all I got to do is erase, open that bracket. It'll give me the drop down. I could do the lead's last name, full name, pretty much all the information you could possibly need to autofill. So in this way, you don't have to manually change the name for every single action for every single contact. And you can see how powerful that would be, because KvCore will do all the work for you. All you have to do is just open up the bracket and choose full name. And anyone that gets assigned to this smart campaign, KvCore will replace this section with their full name, which is pretty awesome. Super automatic and a lot of time saving. Yeah, so this would be the first message that gets sent out. Now, once I fill this out, I'm going to look at the right section here, and I can give a name to this action. So I can call this initial point of contact. This is just me throwing names out there. This is just whatever you want it to be, so that when you refer to it later, you know exactly what this action is about. Okay, so this is the first message I'll be sending as part of this smart campaign. Now, if I go down here to the from and to section, this is obviously a message coming from me to the lead in question. So I'm the agent. I'm going to press agent, and then it'll automatically know you're probably sending it to the contact. So KvCore will know, hey, actually, let's set this first and then I'll say that part. You can run this immediately as soon as they sign in, but I don't want that. I want this message to get sent 5 hours from the time they sign in. So I'm going to scroll down and choose hours for the time unit, and then I'll put 5 in here because I want this to go out in 5 hours. So if you look at this thing as a whole, we have created an action to send this text message called, you know, initial point of contact. It's going to be from me to the contact, and it will be sent 5 hours from the time we trigger this smart campaign. Okay. And then after I press save, there's no name. So we're just going to call this initial point of contact. And then I'll call this -5 hours. That way, when I see the name of this template, I'll know they will get sent an initial message 5 hours from the triggering of this smart campaign. So if I press save here, it'll actually save this message as a template. Okay. And just so it's not confusing, or in case you didn't fully understand that part, if I was to create another text message section right here, I could just go into the template section and type up initial point. Oop. I don't know if I spelled that properly. Initial. Oh, someone's trying to enter the room. Welcome, Sumati. All right. Maybe it's taking its sweet time, but that template we created earlier right here is called initial point of contact. Okay. So in a bit, this will actually save into the system and it will allow me to just reuse that instead of me having to type this every single time. So that's all the template section means. Let me cancel this. So now with this Smart campaign, we know 5 hours from now, soon as Frank checks into my open house and they sign in, 5 hours from that moment, he will get a text message that says this, okay? And then let's say Frank does not reply to me because he's busy or whatever else is going on in life. I also want another action to be performed, maybe a day from the time he signed in. So we're going to choose under time units, days, and then 1. And we can call this second point of contact. Again, these are names you can create and whatever you feel comfortable with. So this is an email this time. It's not a text message. So the subject can be, whatever you want it to be. Feedback, or I don't know, whatever you want it to be. Feedback on, actually, let's do this, opinion on open house. Okay, so a day from that time, Frank will be sent an email that asks him, hey, Frank, what's your opinion on the open house? Are you still looking for homes to buy? How may I be of service? And you can kind of just fill that in here, write up a nice message. And again, you can always use the, brackets to be able to automatically fill in, the lead's name. Or the second way to do that, if you see the little sun icon right here and you click on that, you also get that same drop down. And say I want to automatically plug in Frank's full name, I can just click here and it does that for you. So those are the 2 ways to do that. Okay, and I encourage you to do this for everyone. That way it's more personal. You just don't have hey in there and then have your message. You want to do hey, the person, and then write out your message. It's more personal. And yeah, fill out your message and do whatever you want to do. Okay, make sure you have a name for that action. So we'll call this day 1 email. It's going to be from me to Frank. So agents to contact. Okay, and then we can save that change. And as you can see, as you do this, you build up multiple touches. So right now, the Smart campaign has 2 touches. Touch 1 is me sending a text message 5 hours from the point where he signed in, and then another message 1 day from the time he signed in. Okay, so everything is relative to the moment the contact was added. So this would not be 1 day from, the end of these 5 hours. It's 1 day from the moment Frank got added to the system. So that's important to know. So you can create a bunch of different actions. Let's do one more. So something else you have is a call. Okay, so we're going to do call. All right. So if I just added a call action, so I can have, let me see here. You have 2 options. We're going to start with here. You can either create a task to remind you to call the specific contacts, or you can have KvCore call your phone, and then KvCore will have this automated, robot voice saying, hey, you have a call scheduled at such and such time, press any key to initiate the call. And if you press any key, it'll actually call that, client for you, which is pretty cool. So you could just be out in the world doing fun things and not have to worry about logging into KvCore. KvCore will remember to call you and then automatically merge the call with the prospective client. So you're not just getting a call automatically. I was scared of that at first, but you have time to prepare. Or you can just say, no, I don't want to talk to the person. But yeah, so you have those 2 options. Okay, so let's do a task this time. Again, you can have the task be called whatever you want it to be called. Let's see, more people joining. Cool. All right, so remember to call contact. Okay, this is going to be the name of the action. Do we have a question? No. Don't forget to mute your mic, guys, if you're not if you don't have a question. All right, so this would be the message within the task, okay? And you can also have a name to it and also have a template, which is required. So let's just say call prospects, and I'll call it the same thing here under the Smart Campaign tab. And this can be, say, day 2 from the time Frank signs into my open house. So if I save this, now we have 3 different actions. 5 hours from the moment Frank signed into my open house, he's going to get this initial point of contact message. A day from that time, he'll get an email. And then on day 2, KvCore will remind me to call Frank. Okay, so I'm always on top of it. I know what's going on. And yeah. Excuse me, guys, I'm getting some feedback here. Someone has their microphone on. All right. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is how smart campaigns are structured. This is how they work, and this is how you create them. Okay, you can add plenty of actions. You have full control over how it gets triggered. And as you can see, it's customizable, you know, to the max, to your liking. So now, after you create your full smart campaign, this is if you decide to create one from scratch. Again, you don't have to do this, but once you get more comfortable, once you get, you know, more knowledge on how the whole thing works, you can start creating your own and just, you know, build out the thing to, you know, to match your personality, to say things in the way you want to say things, to keep up with clients at the frequency you want to keep in touch with them. And I hope you guys can see through this how powerful this is, because you only have to do this once. And once you show KvCore how you want it to interact with people, it will do this indefinitely on its own, and you have full control over when it runs and when it doesn't run, which is super cool. Yeah, so once you're done, make sure to make your campaign active, because now that when it's active, you can actually start enrolling people into the smart campaign. So now that this campaign is active, remember there's no triggers, okay? So nothing will automatically happen. And something I do want to mention also is, even if this trigger was, say, you know, when a lead is new, this will not apply to the existing new leads you have in your database. This will only apply to new leads that get added after you turn on the smart campaign. So that's something I had to also figure out, but that's the case. It's not going to happen for anyone already in your database. It's just going to happen in the future after you activate the smart campaign. Okay, so because we don't have any triggers for our smart campaign, you can manually, you know, set it for certain people. I'm going to try and run it for myself here, show you guys how to add a smart campaign manually. So let's go to John Doe right here. So when you open up a contact and you have, you know, all their information, if you look on the right-hand side and you scroll down, active campaigns right here. This section right here is where you can add them manually to a smart campaign. So if I click on add here, I can add campaign, and there's our Tech Tuesday open house one that we just created. So if I click on this and I press add, John Doe will be enrolled into that smart campaign. Now, 5 hours from now, I'm going to receive a text message at this number, because this is my phone number right here. And it'll, you know, go through all of the steps we taught it to go through. So that's pretty cool. And that's how you manually add it to someone. Okay. And if you want to remove someone from a smart campaign, say they've replied to you and you're doing business with them, you don't want them to keep getting those generic emails that you've pre-made. So you can just click on the little pencil and then remove them from the smart campaign. Something else I want to say about this section is I have sent out a bunch of emails recently and enrolled a lot of people in smart campaigns that include text messaging, and they were expired listings. So I purchased expired data, and sometimes the numbers and the contact information you have on those lists are not accurate. So that's where the restart button would come in handy, because say this person replied back and say, hey, I'm not John Doe, stop texting me. I can go into the person in question's profile. I can delete this number, put their second cell number maybe, because that's probably the right contact, go back to the timeline, and I can restart the campaign. Okay, so that way I still try and keep in touch with the correct contact and remove the one that doesn't work. So that's why you would want to, restart a campaign. Or you could just pause or remove or just cancel your change. So I'm going to remove myself. Otherwise, I'll get text messages. I won't remember why. Okay. So that is how you build a smart campaign. Let me go back in there and make sure I didn't forget anything. Awesome. Before I move on, is there any questions? That was a lot of information. Is there anything that was confusing? Anything at all? No, everyone understood on the first go. Perfect. Okay. I'm just gonna quickly show you guys how to make templates. So you can either make the templates within, while you're creating smart campaigns, or you can pre-make the templates and then just kind of add them onto your smart campaign. So you would add the template, you would go to the template section and you can add a template right here. It could be an email, text, or, a task. And let's see. Mandy's joining us. Perfect. All right, you can add a template right here. Let's do a text one. You could call it, this is just for testing. This is just a test. All right. This is a text template that I can reuse. Okay. So right now I'm creating a template that I can reuse for, all of the smart campaigns I do in the future, or maybe if I just want to send an email, I can also just choose this template. Okay. And remember, when you open up the bracket, it will give you the option to autofill the recipient's information automatically. So let's do lead last name. And if I add this template, it'll be part of my endless list of templates that I already have. Some of these will be pre-generated from, KvCore that you could just use. You could clone them and then kind of edit them. Or if you've already made them yourself, you could just edit them right away. Okay. And now let's say I go back to my campaigns and I go right here to the one we just made. Boom. If I add an action and I want to create a text message action for this template, for this smart campaign, I could just go ahead and type that up. This is the one we just made. This is just a test. And when I click on that, it'll autofill that template. So that's why you would maybe want to create templates to make it easier for you to just build out your smart campaign. Okay. And this is not the only place you can use your templates. You could use it when you just send a regular email. But yeah, it could be powerful just having a lot of those to speed up your workflow and work process. So I'm going to remove this. And yeah, this is the My Campaign section. We went through all this. This is the KvCore library. It has all of the pre-made ones for you to use. And I encourage you to just start with these. Just go through them, whichever one you need. There's pretty much everything you might need to start with. You can just add those to your library and just set those in motion. And if you really want to create your own, that's also fine. You can make your templates and go ahead and create your own smart campaign under the My Campaign section right here. Okay. that is how you do just that. And that's what smart campaigns are. Questions going once, going twice. I want to show you guys really quickly how to do the other stuff I mentioned before I keep going. We're looking good. All right. So we've finished the smart campaign section. We know how to create one and what they are. We don't have much, I don't want to take up too much time, but I do want to show you guys the Canva application and how I use that to make newsletters. Okay, so I'm going to open up Canva right now. Let's open a new tab altogether. All right, so the website is canva.com. I'm going to drop this in the chat so that you guys can check it out on your own time. There's that. And let me close the chat. I'm going to log in here. All right. So this might seem a little bit overwhelming at first, but all you're going to do when you log into Canva is just create a design. You can use Canva to make, business cards, banners, wallpapers, email signatures, you name it, Canva probably does it. When you click on, once you sign up, and you do have a free tier, which has so much functionality already. But if you want, you can also get the pro membership to get access to more, cool features. I have the pro subscription because I think it's worth it. I make a lot of videos. I make a lot of graphic, designs. So I use Canva a lot, and I think it's an indispensable tool to have, as a realtor, because you can use this to promote your business in really cool ways. So once you sign in, you'll get greeted with this screen. You can just come up here, create a design, and whatever you're trying to create, Canva probably already has a template for it. Okay, if you're trying to create a YouTube banner, it has that. If you're working on a video, it has that. If you're working on a Facebook post, it has that. If you don't see it there, you could just type up, say for instance, Instagram, and it'll have, templates for Instagram posts with the right sizes for you, story, you name it, it's probably on there. But we're working on a newsletter. This is only showing here because I was playing around with this before. But if you don't see this, just go ahead and type newsletter and it'll pop up. Okay. You could create the email newsletter, real estate newsletter, sky's the limit. But I've already made one, so I'm not going to click here. But when you make yours, you'll just search newsletter here and click on that. But mine is right here. I'm going to click on that, open this up. So this is a newsletter. I'm going to make this a little bigger so you can all see. So I created all this using Canva. Okay. I made a newsletter saying, hey, 4 tips for selling your home at top dollar, and a bunch of cool tips people can, read through. And if they have more questions or they're thinking of selling their home, I have my smart number on here that they can call. I never have my personal or, separate line here because I always want things to be tracked to have all the data. So when people call me on my KvCore smart number, that number being this one up here, your smart number will always show up here. When people call that number, KvCore will automatically add them to my database because that's someone reaching out to me through my work number. Okay, my smart number is my work number. Let me get rid of this. All right, so I always have my smart number on marketing material.
The smart number is something you have to pay for, right? Otherwise it keeps changing, isn't it?
That's correct. So if you plan on doing just what I'm doing, you might want to pay for your own smart number so you can keep track of that. But if you don't feel like having that extra charge, I think it's $27 per month. Okay. I use it everywhere. I have a bunch of platforms, so it makes sense for me. But if you have your own line, you could just put your phone number here and it won't make a difference. Let's see, how often does it change? I
Can you
believe
link-
it's,
Can you
I'm
link
sorry,
can you link your own number to KvCore?
your own number. So when you sign up for the smart number, it gives you an option to have your number as your smart number, but if it's not available to get added, it just assigns one that's in the same area code. So I actually wanted my own number to be it, but they could not add it for some reason. I don't think every number is eligible, but you do have the option to request that, and they'll try their best to have that be your number. So I couldn't get mine, so they gave me this. Okay,
Thanks.
for sure. All right, so yeah, I created all this right here using Canva, and it looks scary at first. It looks like a bunch of fancy, designer stuff. Hopefully it does. Maybe you guys think it's ugly, but I created all this using Canva. And the cool thing is I'm going to add a new page here. If I go up to templates in the template section, so you're going to get used to this interface if you really want to, get into Canva. You have your elements, you can upload documents, add text, photos, videos, a bunch of cool stuff, and QR codes. This is where I make my QR codes at. But the cool thing is you don't even have to play around with all these. Chances are KvCore has templates for what you want to do. So you just go to the template section, and we want a newsletter template. So we'll just type newsletter, okay? And you have a bunch of cool stuff, Christmas newsletters, classroom, church, everything. So I'm working on an email newsletter. So I'm just gonna search for newsletter actually, and you can browse through a bunch of different designs, and you can edit any of these. Okay, I'm trying to find the one I have up here. Can't remember which one it was. Let's find it real quick. Let's see if I can replicate this quickly with you guys. Maybe it's not here anymore. There's a bunch. Yeah, okay, no worries. Well, you can choose any of these. I really wanted to find this template because all I did is just choose a template on the side here and just, made it my own. But I'm just going to select, let's do this one. Okay, once you click on it, certain templates have, multiple pages. You can kind of add the one you like, or you can do both. Okay, and the way you add new pages is by clicking the little plus at the top right here, and that'll create another page. So you can add this on there. And once it gets added, you have full control over everything. You can delete all of this. I could put KvCore real estate. And you can edit all of the text, write whatever you want. You can change the photos. You can upload pictures from your computer, or you can download Google, Photos and have them on here. And you have full customization for what your newsletter looks like. And you have plenty of options to choose from that are pre-made. If you're super artsy and a little bit techie also, you can erase all of this and just create everything from scratch. Canva will give you that option as well. It does not have to be from a template. So you can add your own little elements, your own little shapes, resize everything. You can add some text. It can be, styled text, or you can add your own little text and put whatever you want, which is pretty cool. But once you're done with your newsletter, let me close all these guys because I don't need them. Boom. Once you make something really nice, you have a nice photo on there and you have all your information. Always remember to have your info on the newsletter. That way, when people see and they're interested, they have a way to reach out to you. Once you're done, you will press the share button. So this is how you save or download or, do anything with your project. Share. And we want more options. So when you make a newsletter or when you're sending marketing material to people, you don't want to just send them an image file. You don't want to just send them a PDF file, because that will not automatically show up. The chances of you sending an email with an attachment to someone totally random, or very slim to none. Because if I see an email from someone I don't know trying to sell me something and there's an attachment, I'll just probably delete the email before, opening that up, because I might think it's a virus. So you want the emails providers to display your newsletter automatically. You don't want it to be an attachment. So Canva has this really awesome tool. And again, everything I just did here is part of the free membership. You don't have to pay for any of this. Once you have your newsletter up and running, it looks as good as you want it to. What you want to do is press the share icon at the top. You're going to go to more, and you're going to press embed. Okay, this is the secret sauce right here, if you will. This is what allows you to display full art and emails without having it be, an image or a PDF file or anything. So if you click on embed, Canva will give you these two codes that you can copy. The one you want is the HTML embed code. This is what Gmail, Outlook, all the email providers use to display, your email signature or whatever image you have that you want to show. So you want to copy the first one. So now that I've copied this, I'm going to go back to KvCore. And what I can do is I can go into my smart CRM, or there's two ways to do this, two ways to send this to people. You can select individual people, search people through hashtags. So let's say I only want to send this newsletter to people who are active leads, and I apply this filter. It will show, active leads. And I can select all of these guys by clicking here, mass email. And then this button right here is amazing. You're going to press source code and you're going to paste that thing we just copied. Once I press save, voila, it just generates all of this work that I did. I did not have to download this. I didn't have to save it as a PDF or an image. I just had to paste that code in and it generates all this for you. Another reason why you don't want to, just upload an image or attach a file is because people won't be able to select things. They won't be able to click on links that you might have on there. So this is even more powerful. And you can add things at the bottom here. You can still type up text. And always remember to include your signature. If you don't include your signature on your outgoing emails, at least have your, how do you call it? Your DRE license on there, all of the mandatory things for promotional marketing material that us agents have to have on there to be in compliance. But I have all of those on my email signature. So KvCore will automatically attach that at the end of this email for me so that I'm always covered. Okay. So that's how you make cool newsletters and you send them out to people. Another way you can send this, so I'm going to close this, is to go to marketing once more. And if you scroll down, you have hashtag management. Okay, this is another cool section right here where you can just search for specific hashtags. So let's say I want to search for anyone with the expired hashtag. I'm going to press search. So there is these two hashtags that are called expired. This one has 64 contacts within. This one has 463. So these are things I've created, and I can select everyone within those hashtags. And then I can also, perform actions from here by removing said hashtag, add a hashtag. And once you've, edited this section to your liking, you can add other people to this hashtag right here. Once you have the proper, group of people you want to send that to, you can go back to the smart CRM and now select those people once more and send out that mass email with your newsletter. Okay. So that's a really cool way to make that happen as well. And I did that by going to marketing, hashtag management, and then click on that. And you can, edit your hashtags and make it look as nice as you want it to look. So that's that section. Do we have any questions on the newsletter or how I did that on Canva? That was a lot of info too, really quickly. And again, remember guys, you can always go to the YouTube channel and watch this afterwards if I was moving too fast, or if you only want to focus on a specific section. Okay. So that is how to make a newsletter. And let's see, I want to talk about two more things really quickly. Let's see. So we also talked about QR codes. I know a few people had questions on how I make my QR codes and how I use them. So I use Canva to also make those. I'm going to create a new page here and scroll down to the QR code section. So if I click on this, all you have to do, click on the QR code section, and I could put anything on here. I could put my website, so kane.com. And once I generate this QR code, if you were to scan this right now, it will take you to that link. So you can copy, you can take a photo of this, you can save it as an image, you can do whatever you want with this QR code. And when anyone scans it, it will go to that link. You can have your, listing website on there. You can have your contact information, on there when people scan. You can have it go to a home valuation, landing page on your website. So when people scan this QR code, they get taken to your website and they can put their home address to see how much their home is worth. Really cool stuff you can do with this. That's how I make my QR codes.
Is that QR code part of the free package, or is that the pro package?
No, it's pretty sure it's free. I'm on the pro right now. Let's actually, did you make an account right now? Is that what you're asking and you're not seeing it?
It's free. I do it all the time.
Okay, I'm
No,
pretty
I'm just
sure.
asking.
So yeah, there you go. There's a lot of really cool things you could do for free on Canva. So if you're not using it, I really encourage you, check it out. Sky's the limit. You can customize, make pretty much anything on here. And yeah, if you're looking for anything, remember, go to the templates and you can search for anything. So a lot of people ask me too how I make my email signature. All I do is come here and type email signature, and it will show me templates for that. Let me actually delete all this. It's not showing here. Let me do this. If you go back to the home screen on Canva and you create a design, sometimes I find that you have more options when you look for templates here. So when you create a design, you have email signature options here. If I click on this, it'll open up a page with email signatures you could choose from, which is pretty cool. I just made one today. This is kind of what it looks like. Let me show you guys that real quick. And if you don't know how to set that up in KvCore, again, always refer to the YouTube here. We talked about all this for you to, get back to and rewatch. But yeah, so through here, you can create an email signature. You could do your thing, customize everything. You don't have to create anything. Everything is there for you. Mine looks like this guy. Okay, so this is one I just chose from the Canva library, and I just kind of put my name where it was supposed to be, my email, phone number, etc. And the really cool thing about the email signature section is if I click on edit my profile here, you can also have this automatically generated by clicking on the source code button. Okay, remember how we did that for the newsletter? So when I created my email signature, I did the share, I did more, and then you can embed this, okay? And then once I click embed, all you have to do is copy this link up here, go to your Canva, and then click on the source code. I'm gonna paste this in, save, and then look at that. Now that's my email signature. Simple, looks better than 99% of agents' email signature out there. So yeah, you could just do that and it'll pop up on whatever email you send out. So that's another cool tool you can start using and, separate yourself from everyone else. I'm gonna have to change that. Oh, I was putting that in my about me section. Well, yeah, so that's how you do that. Let's see. I think I've touched on everything I wanted to talk about. Do I have any questions so far? Anyone has any cool tricks maybe they have that they want to share before I move on?
I have a question with the QR code.
Yeah.
When they click it, it'll take them to our page. But does it capture their information at the same time?
No, because you're creating this through Canva, so KvCore will have no way of knowing that, unless if you really want to get, you know, techie and creative. On my email signature, the links that I have here, what's my home worth, and follow me on social media. When they click on these are actually links that I've grabbed from KvCore. Okay, so let's say we go into the playbook section, and I've covered this before. You can go back to the previous Tech Tuesdays. If you go to gather your sphere, I'm going to open my playbook real quick. So see how you can, I don't know if you were here for that Tech Tuesday, but you can actually share these links with people to, you know, have them value their home on your website, or have them be enrolled in a market squeeze report that you can send them. So if I was to copy this link right here, by clicking here, or you could just select all this. And before I do that, let me show you where that link goes. If I paste this, this will take you to my website where you could put your home address and see what your home is worth. If we do this, this KvCore will record this information and add the person's data to my database. But I can also take that same link, go to Canva. I'm gonna get rid of this right here and make a QR code. I can paste that link here, generate the QR code. Now, when you scan this QR code, it'll take you to my website. And then once you sign in, KvCore will record that information. Does that answer your question? You could do like really cool stuff like that too. It kind of intertwine everything.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Of course. Thank
You
you.
know-
Thank you. Yeah.
You know, for the, what was it, the market evaluation or whatever it was you
Yeah.
had there? Is there a system that does that?
You
Yeah, the
mean this
home-
page
the
right here?
home valuation, yeah. Is there a system that you have on your website that does that, or is that something within KvCore?
This is the KvCore website. You don't even have to set this up. It's already made for you. And when you go to your playbooks and you open it up, you could just go ahead and copy this link. It's already pre-made. Anyone who joins and puts their address and stuff will appear in your smart CRM. So it's already made for you.
And it will, so if they click on it and put their address in, then immediately they'll get a home valuation, or do they have to do something else?
Yeah, so let's actually put a random address here just so you see how it happens. Let's do Fashion Way. So once the person puts their address, I don't know why it does this. It'll take them to your website again and ask them for the address once more. I talked to the KvCore team, but they don't know why it does that too. But they'll have to put their address again. So I'll do the same thing, 3635 Fashion Way. And then when they press next, it'll ask them for their information. Mine's already pre-generated. So if I submit, this will save into your KvCore software. Sometimes it takes a minute to pop up, but because I have myself saved in my CRM already, it might not show up immediately. Also, a cool way to see who signed on to your link and did anything, it will show up under your activity tab on the dashboard. So if I refresh this, yeah, it's not showing, but sometimes it takes a while, but KvCore will notify you when someone submits their information, just like we did. And when they do so, they'll get the market report for that area, you know, that they put on there, which was Fashion Way and a bunch of other cool info.
Have you ever received like a random lead in your system? On my KvCore, I received a random lead or something. And I don't know if the person accidentally called my number. And a message went out to him that was like gobbledygook. So he responded,
Oh, no.
stop. And I didn't even know what was going on.
Did you ever do you give people your smart number, or do you have them on your website somewhere, or
I have not done a darn thing with this.
really? That's odd. Yeah, someone would have to either call the smart number, or KvCore would have sent out an email. Maybe something switched on, maybe a button got clicked, but no one should be able to reach out to you without any of that information, you know?
No, I'm
So
just
I'm not
saying
sure
it
what happened there.
It just popped up on KvCore. It was like 7 days ago. And
Really?
I'm assuming the person accidentally called my smart number.
It's not impossible. Maybe it was just someone dialing a number and it just happened to be yours. That's possible too. That's most likely what happened. Because yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know how that would happen, but most likely it was just someone that called your number by mistake.
Misty, was it a local individual, like someone in your market or somewhere far?
I have no idea. He's in Malibu. I have no idea who this person is. I've not sent anything to him.
Interesting.
So I think it has something to do with the rotating phone numbers, because the same thing happened to me. One, I had
Actually,
a scam,
yeah, that could be a
and
thing.
then I had a real person, but it was in San Diego. So that's why I had asked you, can I narrow it to be in the primary area where I work versus San Diego, Bay Area, or whatever. So that when he went somewhere, then he went to the site, then it starts showing him properties in his area as if I was going to go show him.
Right. Yeah,
That might be what happened, Tisha, because I mean, the guy's in Malibu. I'm not doing Malibu. I mean, I wouldn't mind living there, but I'm not doing Malibu. And the thing was that a text went out to him that was poorly written. So he probably thought I was an idiot.
I think something is turned on because my thing sent out
probably
AI.
Probably something's turned on, or your number got rotated and you're just picking up where that interaction left off. So that's more likely. But that's odd. Okay, I'm sorry you had that experience, but definitely, yeah, I would maybe reach out to support, see where that came from if you want more insights, but it's hard to tell.
I would try to refer it to somebody.
Get
a referral on it.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that too.
But so, you're saying KvCore, you said KvCore rotates the numbers. So you put that number, that number has been put out there for people to contact you. People contact you, and then somebody else, another agent gets the lead once they rotate the number.
Yes. So if you're being called and you don't own your smart number, that will get routed to someone else under your, in the same brokerage as you, at least from my understanding of how it works. And I didn't want to deal with that.
That's
sorry?
asinine. Why would they do that?
Yeah, it's just another way to generate more income. So you buy your own number. I know it sucks, but it's just set up that way.
How much does your own number cost a month?
It's $27 every single month.
In case, never mind. Sorry about that.
I know. It's just set up that way to rotate between agents in your brokerage. So maybe something like that happened. Does anyone else have another question?
In your signature, you have the links. Can you go to your signature so I can?
Yeah, for sure.
The red and blue.
Right here?
Yeah, those. So how do you
how did I do that?
Yeah. So
I created this in Canva. So if we go here, so this was just me, let's say, let's just take this text. So once you click on an element in Canva, maybe I might do an in-depth video of just how to use Canva, but any element that you click on, you could press the little more icon and then click on link, and you can just put any link on here. Okay, so this is me pasting that link from, my home valuation landing page or market report. Once I put this in, press enter. Now, anyone who clicks on this will get taken to that link. And the colors behind is just me literally putting
Okay.
a
Yeah, I know
little
that part.
element.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Of course.
Wait, are you Juju? Juju?
My nickname is Junior, so my go-to to just spread gibberish is just JU.
Oh,
But
gotcha.
yeah, yes. I think I have a question in the chat. Can you show how to follow me on social media, please? I don't get the question, Raquel. Do you mind clarifying, please? Can I show how to have
Yeah,
people
can
follow
you
me on social
show
media?
Can you show how to do the handle like you did on the home valuation, just how to follow you on social media?
Oh yeah, for sure. So the
Thank
way I do that is I don't know if you were here last time, but there's this awesome website. Let me get rid of this. I did something here. There's this awesome website called Linktree. I'll also link. This is a bunch of information, guys, but I'm just gonna throw everything in the chat. Hopefully we can go through these one by one on future occasions. But Linktree is a cool website that basically lets you create one link, and that one link takes you to multiple other links, okay? So if I was to share this link with anyone right here, they will get greeted with this web page, and I can customize what they see on there. So let me try and make more sense here. So with the link that Linktree creates for you, you can create extra links that people get routed to. So I can have my website, YouTube channel, Instagram, and even a link so that they can contact me through. So this is the link right here that I copied and pasted into my email signature. So this is where that link takes you. To follow me on social media will take you here.
Yeah, that needs to be
does
a
that answer the
separate
question?
class.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's one of those little quirky things that makes your life easier. But when they click on the link, they see a page that looks like this. So they kind of they can navigate through all your cool stuff. Does that answer the question, Raquel?
Yes, thank you.
For sure, no worries. Let's see. We've done the QR code, Linktree. I have that in the chat. Okay. One very last thing, then I promise everyone can go home. This is another cool way you can start generating leads passively. I try to show this off, I think the first Tech Tuesday I did, and it didn't work. So hopefully I could get it to work this time. And you actually want to use Google Chrome for this. I'm an Apple guy, so everything I use is Apple software. So we'll just branch off really quickly here. I'm gonna go to KvCore. All right. So a really cool way you can generate passive leads at no charge, and you could start doing this today, is by promoting the listings within your brokerage. Okay. Again, this is also something we went over in past live streams, which you can access where. So if I go into the listings tab, I can filter through the listings in my brokerage by flicking this on agency listings. And then I'm going to apply that filter. That will show me all of the listings that are within my brokerage. And I know I have full permission to go ahead and advertise them to my heart's content. So let's choose 12801 Valley View. Okay. If I click on this property, check this out. And then I go to more actions. I don't know why the photos are not loading. Let me refresh here. That's so weird. Can you guys still hear me? I don't know if my internet went out.
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. So once you open up a property, you can go to more actions and you can post to Craigslist. Okay, if I click on this button right here, it'll take me to Craigslist. It'll have me the location that this listing is in. So where's this? La Mirada. I don't know where this is, but I'm gonna assume it's in central LA. Okay, if I click on this right here, check this out. It will automatically fill everything in for me. And boom, any second now. This is a really cool feature. So it's basically going to create a post for you on Craigslist, have the description, the photos of the listing, the smart number people can reach you at, all with the click of one button. It usually doesn't take this long. I don't know why it's taking its sweet time.
Do you have to have like some kind of Craigslist account for that to work? Or just,
You don't, yeah. You can have your own Craigslist account, or you can manage each of those posts with a link that Craigslist will provide you. So I created an account so that everything is in one place, but you don't have to. And if this thing will work, I might be able to show you that. Let me close this. I think I have a problem with my browser because the images are not even loading. Let me choose another listing. This one has photos. Hopefully it loads in. Perfect. So I'm going to click on more actions, post to Craigslist. It's going to open up a page in Craigslist. I'll choose the location. It'll do all this fun jazz. And there you go. So see, it writes the title for you, how many beds and bath, all the cool information brought to you by yours truly, and my Dre license number, my smart number, and I can just click publish, and that will go out there into the world. And if I go into my Craigslist account, you can kind of manage each of these posts. I just wanted to browse through this really quickly, just so you see, but this is also something I'll clip apart and just go into more detail with. You do need a plugin for this. Let me remove this so that, okay. So at first, when you guys try to do this, if you do, when you click on post to Craigslist, it'll have a pop-up on the screen telling you that you need the KvCore Craigslist plugin. It'll look like this. Okay, and you need to be on Google Chrome for this. So I don't know if you use Firefox or Edge or anything else. I don't think it'll work then. So maybe try with Chrome, because then for sure it'll work. You'll get this pop-up right here, and you'll click install via Chrome, the Chrome store. So once you do that, it'll take you to this page where you can download the KvCore plugin. It's gonna be this first one right here with the little, it just says KvCore. Okay, it has more reviews. That's the one. So once I click on that, I can add it to Chrome. I'll add this extension. And as you can see at the top right here, it'll pop up that tells me that I've installed it. Okay, so now I'm gonna click on, I'm gonna pin it here so it's always here. If I click on here, it's gonna have some information on how to set this up. So I do that by clicking set URL. It'll take me to Craigslist. You're gonna scroll down and choose your location. Okay, I'm gonna put Los Angeles. And then once you do so, you'll get this nice message saying I'm all set to go, and I can start, posting stuff to Craigslist. Now I'm gonna go back to KvCore, close this tab, refresh so that it can properly install. And now if I go to more actions, post to Craigslist, boom, there you go. It'll let you post anything you want. So this time, let's say we're in Long Beach, click the button, creates the post for you. All you got to do is press publish. There you go.
Is that a free posting, Kane?
It's free, yeah. I didn't pay any money for this.
And is it because we're going through KvCore?
I don't really use Craigslist, so I don't know if you have to pay otherwise. I thought Craigslist posts were free.
Free.
Oh, they are free?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, because I thought a lot of people stopped doing it because you had to pay to post real estate sale. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And if you have an account here, actually, I'll show you this. If I click on my account, I've posted all of these guys. So every single one of them was free. So I don't think you have to pay any money. So yeah, if it's your first time doing this, before you can press publish, it'll ask you, hey, do you want to create an account, or do you want to just use this link to manage this post? I encourage you to create an account. That way everything is in one place, you know, and it'll use your work email, your brokerage email, which is pretty cool. So yeah, all of these are on there. I added all of them with a single click. Anyone who goes on Craigslist and types anything related to these properties, I get some free internet real estate to promote from. So I think that's pretty cool. There's no reason why we shouldn't do 100 of these every day and just sit back and get messages from people who are interested. You know, so that's a cool thing you can start doing today.
Can you do more? Because like you under that more actions, it had other.
Right here?
Yeah. So you can put, you can do the exact same thing for Facebook and Twitter and all that.
Yeah. So you can make a QR code, and when people scan that, it'll take them to the page. You can print a flyer. I haven't messed with that just yet. Facebook, I have a Facebook account. I'm trying to get into Twitter. I just don't get it. So I don't have a Twitter account. I do have one, but I don't know how to use it. But let's do Facebook. If I click on Facebook, it'll have me log in. And once I log in, it will post that for me. I don't know that I use this account anymore, but you get the idea. So it'll take you to Facebook. Once you log in, it'll have that post. I don't have a Pinterest account. Yeah. Let me.
So on Craigslist, do they monitor? I mean, like, what if I put that listing up there and then Tisha put that listing up there and you put that listing in there? Do they monitor, or they just let everybody put it up there on Craigslist?
They let
I don't
anyone put
think
it up.
it's monitored. Yeah, I
They
don't
just
think
let
it's
anyone put it up.
monitored. That's how they have so many of the people that are not posting with the right intentions.
Mhm.
There'll be a multiple of those on there. So I don't think it's monitored.
I don't think so either. You could kind of do what you want to do. I just want to show you guys the Facebook one because I've done it before. I used to be signed in. Get this out of the way. Boom. So if I go to a listing, Facebook, everyone has a Facebook account, I feel. So everyone should be able to promote a couple of these, you know, from time to time. So let's promote 12880, however you say that. So I'm going to do more actions and go to Facebook. I think I'm logged in on Safari. There you go. See that? Everything's in there. When people click on this, it'll take them to my website. And it has everything pre-generated for you. You can add, you know, whatever you like, add a nice feeling to it, whatever you feel like that day. I feel blessed today, and then just kind of post. And that's free, you know, promotion right there. And it'll work like this for Twitter, Pinterest, Craigslist, and here on Facebook. I'm gonna leave here. Yeah, any questions on that? I think that's pretty cool. Awesome.
And we can do that even if it's not if it's not our own personal listing. Like how I was saying beforehand,
Mhm.
there might be a listing that is not mine that I wanted to snag, but I was having issues retrieving a specific address. So once I get past that hurdle, I'm able to pull it up. I should be able to do just what you did, which is
Yeah,
click
exactly.
and play.
Exactly. If it's a listing within, you know, your brokerage, you should be able to promote it with no, you know, permission needed. But if it's an agent from Keller Williams, I don't know if it was you who asked me this question, but someone wasn't able to populate certain listings, and I did not
That
know
was
why
me.
they couldn't. Okay. So I actually had a long conversation with the support, and it was hit or miss. Some of them were showing, some of them were not. I don't know what the parameters are, but you should be able to see certain listings from other brokerages, and you just need to make sure to ask their permission before you promote it, obviously. But yeah, still question mark on that. I don't know why those didn't pop up.
As far as I'm only asking because you've spoken to KvCore's help desk. Are they only Monday through Friday, or they work on Saturdays or the weekend?
I think they're every day. I was talking to them today even. I didn't pay attention. I don't
KvCore
know.
for tech, Monday
Yeah.
through Friday, 24 hours a day. And then on the weekend, I think they're half day.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's every
But-
day, but it's
yeah,
different times.
but for sure, Monday through Friday, 24 hours.
Mhm.
So you go through the work, not workplace, but the virtual world and then talk to the KvCore?
No, you could do it within the KvCore website. You have a little
Oh,
blue.
okay.
I don't know if you see this. If you click on here, you can get support. You can send them a message, ask a question, and it'll let you type anything. First, it'll be a robot, and then
Where did you
can
click?
right here. If you see this little blue chat
yeah.
box, do you see that? Yeah, when
Yeah.
you click on that, you could just type anything, and then someone will eventually get connected with you, and you can chat with them back and forth. It's pretty cool. And they're really resourceful. They try their best to help, even if they don't know the answers. They get back to you the next day. Okay, how are we looking? I think I talked about everything I wanted to say today. Yeah, any questions?
How soon before you have this link posted on YouTube?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we said a lot today, but I'll definitely post it on there, and I'll cut it up in pieces so you can only focus on what you want to focus on. Okay, and again, the link is in the chat. If you can't attend for any reason, stay subscribed to it so you can keep up with, all of the uploads. Yeah, and I even have quick tutorials on how to do certain things. I'll update these as we go and build a huge library for everyone to see.
I want to know when you're going to start actually just doing it for people like me.
Oh man, for the right fee, you could call me, and I
Get in
will
line, Misty.
Trust me, that's money well spent.
Thank you guys, I appreciate it. Thank you. We're all learning together. I don't know all the answers, but I try. So thank you so much. Yeah, I think we're looking good. There's nothing in the chat. No one else has any questions. Going once, going twice.
Guess so. Bug you later.
Alrighty. Well, with that being said, I give it back to you, Frank. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Kane,
you.
so very much. All right. So if you do have any questions, I believe, feel free to reach out to Kane, go to his site with all these fantastic videos and their information. And remember, tomorrow, as always, Wednesday is Appraisal Wednesday with Renee Oliva. If you do have an address that maybe you want to run by him for any given Wednesday, go ahead and send it to me or send it to Renee, and he'll use that as a weekly subject. It's helpful for the person, obviously, to sit in. It's helpful for everyone else to see Renee go through it and break it down. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. I'm working on getting another night going. It's either going to be Thursday or Sunday, more than likely a Thursday. And it's going to be all about prospecting listings farm wise. So I'm talking to a couple of title reps. I think they're going to rotate, and every other week, each one will come in and share their ideas for farming, show you how to do target marketing and things like that. And then, of course, it kind of coincides with what Kane was talking about tonight, getting this list, choosing a farm, taking that data, converting it into your KvCore, and putting people on these auto campaigns rather than going through the painstaking old ways of just cold calling and door knocking. I'm not against it. I just think you can have more effect by using the technology. Proof is in the pudding. I don't know if Kane mentioned, but he's got a listing appointment tomorrow that he got lined up using this very method that he's teaching you. And that's what's important to us. That what we're showing you is what we're utilizing here in the trainings. I like to keep it, Kane likes to keep it fresh, like to keep it current, and share the experiences with you that agents that are active in the real estate world are going through, approaches they're using, things that are showing results, and then we bring it to you. So that said, thank you so very much, Kane. It's always a pleasure. You're a fascinating, great coach. And remember, tomorrow, Renee at 8 p.m. And then, of course, Monday, contracts every Monday. And then I'll let you know as soon as we're going to add the next night. just to round everything off. All right.
Tisha's hand is up.
Tisha, yes, ma'am.
I can't let you go. It's 9 o'clock.
I thought she was just slapping me or trying to tell me, shush.
Can I make a recommendation for a video or reel?
Yeah,
Fast
totally.
forward, day in the life of an agent. So sun
Oh,
up, sundown. If you are full-time, part-time, if you still work a W-2 for the visual people.
that is a cool video idea for sure.
Think
I'll write
we
that
Asking
down.
for a friend. Asking for a
Yeah,
friend.
I think we'd probably need a Tarantino to come in here and direct that one though, 'cause, I mean,
Man.
the reason is because there's probably some blood and guts in there somewhere too for
Oh,
the
man.
full time.
Minor tears, minor tears.
Tears also, of course. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, there's an idea. I mean, Kane and I have been talking about, I mean, hopefully my time is going to free up, but I do get anxiety when I don't have something, a stick in the fire. That's why I've had a pretty decent year this year. And I've got business in the pipeline. I think I'm going to start talking more about center of influence because it's really dialed in for me now. It's taken a while, but it's all in sync now. It's all happening. You know, when I tell you about the business that I'm doing, I'm not trying to do it like somebody on a flyer, like I'm in the 1% and look at me, I'm the king of this farm and whatever. No, I'm just telling you right now, all the opportunities I have are mostly from center of influence. They're not spending a lot of money on data services. They're not even spending a lot of money on technology, although I'm starting to utilize the technology in my center of influence. But it's just old school, talking with your people, the people that know you most, the people that have a familiarity with you, the people that even if you get a soft rejection from them now, and that would mean that they're not doing anything real estate related, that doesn't mean that you can't reach out to them, you know, next quarter just to rekindle the relationship. And who knows if at that time they're doing something. But the key is to keep that relationship going so that it gets to the point that when they are in buy or sell mode, they remember you right away and they call you or they refer to you. And that's exactly what I've been working on for quite a while, and exactly why it seems like every year I probably do at least 8 to 10 transactions just routinely every year from strictly from my center of influence. And this year I've already hit my 10 mark with my center of influence. Through my center of influence, I have a listing coming up in Downey. Center of influence, I have a listing coming up in Long Beach. Center of influence, I've got a listing coming up in Gardena. I just picked up 2 new buyers through center of influence. It's all been laying the groundwork for just doing what we should do anyways, which is communicate with your people. Don't just stare in your phone and shut yourself off to the world, or, you know, pay for some ads and put it out there and hope somebody calls you. You have to get in front of people. And I'm trying to do a better job at it as well. And thank goodness I've been blessed to meet people like Kane who can help me take these visions and hopefully turn them into something visual. Okay. So, but first and foremost, call your people, reach out, don't be embarrassed. Don't feel like you're soliciting them. Don't feel like, oh, I don't want to mix business with family or whatever. If you don't help your people buy or sell, someone else is going to they're going to be in the hands of a stranger. So look at it as doing them a favor by being someone who cares about them being part of whatever they're going to do, buy or sell. Look at it that way every time. All right. Well, that said, everyone, have a fantastic evening. Remember, tomorrow, 8 p.m. with Renee. And then, of course, we head back into the weekend. And then on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we do it all over again. Routine, routine, routine. All righty, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay. Have a fantastic night, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.
All right.
Good night.